Oh. Wait. No.
Oh, wait, we gotta...
Oh, there we go. Yeah, we didn't... There we go. Excellent. Okay. We'll leave that in for the people listening, so that way, whenever they start it, it just breaks their
Yeah, they're gonna hate that.
speakers. So anyway, hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I feel better now that Christmas is over. It was
Yeah.
kind of stressful.
It's relieving.
Yeah.
For me, it was Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah, and New Year's too.
Christ, just a continuous, like, that whole week of Christmas, it was like binge drinking every day. And so, like, I'm good. You know, New Year's was the final one.
I should probably put the tinsel behind us to give us some sort of...
Oh, yeah, some Christmas. This is our Christmas cast.
There we go. Just trying to make it look thematic.
Wow, that looks...
We're ringing in the new year.
Hey, 2024.
You like that?
Bring that closer to the mic so they can hear it, too. They can... Hey, it's Christmas noise.
Yeah, Christmas tinsel noise.
Yeah. So, dude, we made it 2024.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
It doesn't seem like a new year yet.
It feels like a new year for me.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I've been counting the days down over here behind you, so till my update. I got 90 or I'm at 89 days left.
Gotcha.
And you know, the first 10 days I don't think I did anything.
So you're really plowing through those days.
But day 11 I did something. That was
Nice.
yesterday.
Nice.
So today's day 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, when you start counting your days, you're like, man, I really get nothing done on these days. I mean, granted, it was like Christmas and stuff. I mean, if you count back.
That whole, count 10 days back, it's just chaos.
Yeah, of dealing with people's houses, party, whatever stuff. I mean, I tried to avoid as much family function as possible. I still had to do a bunch of it. So.
Damn.
Yeah.
I opt in for all of it, but like it's too much, and like by like Christmas week I'm like I'm done.
Yeah.
On Christmas Day we were at Rebecca's family's house, and I probably looked like I went through hell. I was just like on like 4 hours of sleep, just like standing there. At some point I had my phone out and I was just like reading Reddit. Nobody was talking to me or anything. I was just kind of like in my own little world for a second, and like her mom kind of walked up and like, hey, you know, this is mine now, and like tried to grab my phone. I'm like, I think I snapped back, but I don't remember.
You're like, bitch.
But like, it just was like, it was like this thing where like I got like unreasonably upset for like, and then she like was like, oh yeah, you know, a friend of mine does the thing where, you know, you put the phone inside of a box when you walk in the door, and it was like, no, all you have to do is just ask for me.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you wanna, or just start a conversation. I would have been like, back in the pocket.
Yeah.
But instead of like
You're
just
gonna
walking
pull
up,
it, yeah.
No, we don't do that.
Yeah, like a little kleptomaniacal goblin.
Yeah.
Bullshit, I hate goblins. Fucking goblin cyst.
I do kind of like goblins.
Wow.
Not in a...
I only like thick goblins with 3 C's. It's the only goblin I like.
I like the lore of goblins. You ever think about goblin lore?
What is goblin lore for you?
I don't know. I think it's just that they're little green people. But sometimes they change it. So it's like, I don't know. Okay, maybe that's why people don't like goblins. They're just default enemy, but always like drawn or described differently.
I like to imagine that the reason they're green is because they eat too much vegetation. They're actually just like misunderstood herbivores. Like they go around the world and they have like really sharp teeth for like eating weeds essentially.
Yeah, they eat like thistle.
Yeah, really firm weeds that have tough stalks, but people like take that as, you know, them having like the capacity to kill them, and then innately they just have to fight back.
Yeah. And so like that's where like all the goblin wars started. And, damn.
And they're also like really primitive in mind because they don't really get enough nutrients because they're on a vegan diet.
Yeah.
Like actual vegans.
They're real vegan. They don't even eat animal.
Yeah, they don't eat anything. They just pretend to eat it so that their enemies are afraid of them so that they can have peace.
Yeah, they like put like some human flesh in their mouth, like, but they don't swallow.
They don't digest it.
Yeah,
it just goes straight through the system.
Oh, okay. Well, wait, if they're vegans, they're eating people.
Yeah, no, sometimes they have to eat it and then they poop it out. It's like
corn.
It comes out the same way it went in.
All right. Yeah, it's just like corn.
Their body literally can't use it.
It's corn, goblin corn.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, there's that human eyeball I had.
And they make extra money by trying to sell everything as hemp, as like an all everything product.
Yeah.
Like you can use it for plant protein and for weaving shirts and tunics and.
Damn.
Yeah.
So like they got a whole goblin economy.
Yeah.
They got like, what do they have, like goblin mayors?
Yeah, well, see, like the goblins, they're actually like liberals.
Okay.
Yeah, so they sort of try to make this like communist thing.
Okay.
But they have like a hierarchy based on who's bigger. But that's just genetics.
But well, then wait a second though. I mean, like the hierarchy, but that doesn't sound very fair.
It's like hierarchy communism is basically what it is.
So it's like communism, but the tall people get more.
Yeah, but they're tribal too, so.
And they're nomadic.
Yeah.
So they travel around.
Yeah.
From city to city,
eating thistle.
Yeah, living on the streets.
And trying to hawk hemp as an everything product, as the panacea of solution for everything.
Yeah, with their big noses.
Yeah, and their sharp teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all
they're malnourished because they are herbivores.
Yeah. And all they would have to do is eat some meat.
Yeah.
Or fish.
But even if they do, they can't mentally process it as well as physically.
They mentally can't process the idea of eating a fish.
They have to focus on the fact that they're digesting to digest.
Wow.
They can turn it on and off.
So they're like the manual transmission of beings.
Yeah, it's not autonomous like it is for other people.
And so it's probably easier to digest the simple sugars of grass and thistle than it is to tear apart the amino acids inside of the meats.
Yeah. They have to choose both to do that as well as to breathe. And sometimes some forget to breathe.
So they're like, hey, just eat the thistle.
Yeah.
It's like only one thing that you got to do.
You know how like when a baby comes out of like a mother, the doctor will like hold it upside down and spank it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have to do that from like ages 1 to 5 to make sure they're still breathing. Otherwise, the goblin dies.
So every day they just spank the baby?
Well, they kind of punch him in the stomach to make sure the air is... Yeah.
And then the baby goes like, oh man, I just expelled all my air. Let me manually inhale.
Yeah.
Lungs activate. And yeah. Wow.
Yeah, they're quite dependent on their tribe to help maintain their breathing for the first 5 years of their life.
So if you were to isolate a goblin, it would probably just die.
Potentially, yeah.
So they have to be in tribes.
Wow. Sometimes it ends up working out that they don't really need the tribe because if they are solo and they don't know how to breathe, they'll end up standing upright. And then when they don't breathe, they'll pass out and fall on their stomach and get a breath in and then wake up again and then stand upright and then pass out and then fall on their stomach. And then just do that process over and over until they learn how to breathe.
Yeah, now their hierarchy makes more sense because the taller ones must have a bigger brain capacity because they have to breathe in more.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So it's like, I get it now. Like if you're like say goblins, average height, 3 foot. Say you're a 3'5", they're probably like, oh man, that guy's got to breathe in at least a little bit more than I do.
Yeah. And sometimes it takes 2 goblins to help push the stomach of a bigger goblin.
True.
So that they learn how to autonomously breathe.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And so they become like the rulers because they have the bigger mental capacity.
Yeah.
So they could also think about like where to move next.
Yeah.
As well as breathe and digest. That's 3 tasks.
Yeah.
And that's pretty difficult. So.
Yeah, they also the bigger ones also have the mental capacity to do door-to-door salesman for hemp. So.
Yeah, hemp and vacuum cleaners.
Yeah, the problem is whenever they knock on the door and open it up and somebody sees it's a goblin, it threatens them.
Yeah, so the goblins have to put on white face.
Yeah.
And
cloaks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually sometimes it's 2 big goblins stacked in a trench coat.
Yeah.
To try to sell you hemp.
Yeah.
As an everything product.
Yeah, they find like old ladies.
Yeah.
To go and buy the hemp and.
Yeah. And then if somebody turns them away because of their features in whiteface, specifically their large nose, they'll be like, "What are you, an anti-Semite?"
Yeah. And then he opens up his chest a little bit and he's got a Jewish what you call it, star on there. Yeah.
This bit has gone on way too long. I just keep extending it.
And he goes like, Mahayam, and he tips his little yarmulke.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway.
Yeah, what else is going on? We got it in. We got the goblin joke in.
2024, it's the year of the goblin jokes. We're going to do this every time.
Yeah, this is going to be it for 12 months.
Yeah. Goblin joke after goblin joke. It's been a year and a half, right?
Yeah.
That we've been doing the pot, maybe more.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like September of 21, 22?
I think so.
Somewhere around there. Yeah, because it was before I got married. I don't know.
That's whatever. It's been a while.
Yeah. So, yeah, dude. So 2022. What do you went and had some family tasks?
You're talking about 2023?
Oh, sorry.
You're living in the past, dude.
I really am.
Actually, I got a more interesting question.
Okay.
What are your New Year's resolutions?
Do I have to have any?
I don't know. Do you have anything think you're going to do this year versus last year? Do you feel your star sign aligning?
I feel my biorhythms. They're on their way up, and I think they're going to be up for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then they're going to go back down, and then they're going to come back up because that's how biorhythms work. But once they all align, all three of those lines on the bar graph.
Three, yeah.
You know about the biorhythm bar graph line?
I don't.
Okay, there's 3 lines. I forget what each one is. But, once they all line up at a peak, that's when you're going to feel your best.
So is that what your watch is telling you?
No.
Oh.
No, it's a weird thing you can look up online.
Oh, we're going to have to look that up.
Yeah, you can look up biorhythms and see it. But anyway, no, I don't really have like any kind of like wacky resolution, man. I just want to keep like working out and staying in some shape.
Mm-hmm.
And live life, figure out a way to live my life better. That's it.
Sounds pretty general, yeah.
Yeah, that's nothing to,
You're just going to keep on keeping on. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I just want to continue being happy. This year we got the potential for children at some point.
Yeah, I mean, potentially you have 3 months before the cutoff, and then it would technically be into the next year, unless you had a premature birth.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to be giving the birth, so.
Yeah.
It's not a personal
issue. But you know
issue.
what it's like. I mean, it's like when your wife gets pregnant, you're like, well, we're pregnant, so.
Yeah, I'm taking credit.
Yeah.
It's me.
I mean, you got to squirt that.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm squirting.
It's a lot of work.
But you got
to deal with her. No.
Yeah.
Obviously work.
She's going to be like in the hospital. A funny story. Whenever I was born, it was a snowstorm. And my grandpa and my dad just watched hockey while I was
and they
being
remember
born.
That game.
Yeah, I think they won. I think the Red Wings, they won.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that year was a Stanley Cup year. So it made sense because it was playoffs. So they had to watch in the hospital.
For some reason, my brain, I'm not going to make the joke.
Okay.
Because I find it probably distasteful.
I don't think so.
But I was going to say that was the day that you got your Red Wings.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's distasteful. I think it's tasty. Yeah, no, all right. Okay.
Yeah, you see where this is going.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, dude.
Yeah, so you're just going to keep on keeping on is what it sounds like.
Yeah, what you got?
What
did you resolute?
Yeah, so as far as resolutions go, I'm pretty aware that they don't really last that long if you make a resolution.
Yeah.
So I made my resolution before New Year's, which was to get my update out on April 1st. That's my goal.
That's a good date.
Yeah, I think it'll be funny.
Yeah.
If I can achieve it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, actually, I should probably sound more resolute because I'm gonna achieve it.
Yes.
I don't really want to set myself up for failure. I have to do this.
Yeah.
That's probably the best way to put it. But it's been long overdue. And so I've been counting down since 100 days. And, like I told you before the cast, the first 10 days, not really much progress.
Yeah.
But watching them go down does make me feel more stressed
Yeah.
And then I finally did something yesterday.
Wow.
So
you're like, it's been 10 days and I haven't.
Yeah, I've done nothing.
Moved.
I mean, I've exercised and I've eaten well and whatever, but it's still like I'm like, well, I'm not doing anything for Jump Off the Bridge, so what's the deal?
Yeah.
And I actually realized recently that, and this is probably pretty dumb to say, but just I guess it's stupid in the sense of, well, like you wasted this much time to find that sort of answer, but the answer I came to was I'm just overthinking everything. And I just need to simplify my life more.
Sure.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've listened to this cast at any point, you'll know that I overthink probably a lot of stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, in my head, I'm just like, you know what, this sounds really stupid. And then I started watching this thing. It was an interview between Andrew Huberman and David Goggins, and it's pretty good. But essentially, Goggins the entire time is just like. Honestly, watching them, it reminds me of that bell curve IQ thing, where like David Goggins, I don't think he's a dumb person, but I imagine him on the dumb side, and then I imagine Huberman as the scientist on the right side. Don't make this a racial thing, no. But but I just imagine that bell curve with regards to not intelligence, but to like the way you act in life. Like Andrew Huberman, it seems like has a lot of scientific reasoning for why he does what he does, and whereas I feel like on the complete opposite end, so you have like the mental aspect of like he's mentally justifying the things he does, and then I feel like David Goggins is the physical aspect of like I've suffered and I know I'm suffering and life is suffering, and he didn't have to go to Buddhism to figure that out. He just had a shitty life and was like, okay, and I know the answer to things is doing, essentially. They both come to the same conclusion that you have to do things, but the way that they got to that conclusion was different.
Yeah.
And I realized in seeing that juxtaposition of Andrew Huberman's like analysis of how the brain works and how you can rationalize doing these things, and then David Goggins just like straight suffering of why he does what he does and his almost masochistic tendency to his like perception of self is so critical and whatever, all these things. But both of them come to the same spearhead of just you got to do stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm honestly overthinking it. Really, at the end of the day, I just have to sit down and do. Because even if I imagine having a piece of clay and I'm just staring at it like eternally, that clay's not going anywhere. But even if I make something shitty, like it can be refined. So I don't think my entire problem is a fear of failure, but I'm sure that's some aspect of it. I'm sure some of it also comes to like being overly critical, having some perfectionism, not wanting things to be bad, and then there's like a cycle of, well, I don't want things bad, but if I never make things, then I never have things that are bad, sort of thing. But whatever. So those are just some of my cursory thoughts about going into the new year on day 3.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the 3rd day of the new year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, damn.
Yeah. To show my overthinking, I've been kind of trying to balance my life into the 3 areas of like a triquetra. So like the idea is like body, mind, spirit sort of thing.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so I have to do specific tasks to balance myself within. I try to gamify it a little bit.
Yeah.
I was like, if I exercise for body, that's like a body task. And then if I do something spiritual like meditation or reading can also fit for mental, or journaling for like spiritual, trying to get to that like inner soul. And then for mental, you could even consider something like also meditation or learning something or trying to be less rigid, whatever. All things like that I consider to be within the triquetra. And then I was like, okay, well, actually, I think there's a light triquetra and then a dark triquetra. Because like there's like, I've been trying to dichotomize the like divine self and then like the beastly shadow self or whatever.
Sure.
And so I'm like, okay, well, for body, for the beast, it's like masturbate profusely or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. Or like read smut instead of learning something. That would be for mental.
Yeah.
Spiritually for the beast, I'm not sure what would say that, but perhaps reading black magic or trying to channel a succubi or something. Whatever.
There you go. Yeah, just succubus. Channel a succubus.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of crazy stuff that people do to try to
channel a succubus.
Yeah, if you go on like X Paranormal, the 4chan board, they try to do everything from tulpas to summoning succubus, succubi. Like the whole point is like, oh, and honestly, I think a lot of it is just a return to ritual, like to simplify it. I mean, in essence, I think a lot of people, they don't have any ritual, and I think spiritually you need some sort of ritual, and
yeah, I think like some of that, I don't know. Some of the like devil worship stuff is really creepy, and it's really creepy for some reason because it doesn't feel like right, not just because of like a society thing, but like I don't know, there's like a weird thing whenever you see something that's like truly evil feeling. It's like an eerie feeling in your body that like your mind's like, no, we shouldn't mess with this or be around this or whatever.
Sometimes I think that behavior is conditioned over time.
Yeah.
Like, because I do think that there are aspects of self that we repress that is just because of religion and society. I'm not saying we should all become like tribal pagans and dance naked, but I do think that ritual, if that was something that people wanted to do, should be able to be explored.
Yeah.
Essentially, I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to say, like, because then there's also like the Overton window of like, all right, well, if we just justify everything with people should be able to do whatever they want as long as it doesn't hurt anyone else, then at some point you're going to have so many disparate, atomized groups of people that don't really mesh with each other, and then why we wouldn't really have a country at that point, sort of thing. So there's a part of me that understands that there's pitfalls to that ideology, but I guess the thing I do want to acknowledge is I think there are dark aspects of self that need to be acknowledged before you can reach your potential.
Sure.
To be whole. And
yeah,
I guess I agree with Jung in that regard. This idea of, you can't realize your capacity for light until you recognize your capacity for good cannot be recognized until you recognize your capacity for evil. Sure. In the same way that the roots of heaven also reach the roots of hell in that capacity. But
I mean, like, we live in a time where like information's so widely available that the only information that you can't really gather is the information that's just within yourself, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And so like it feels like a lot. I don't know. I don't know if this is completely untrue, but I felt like a long time ago, not that long ago or whatever, people didn't explore their own mind as much till like we got to a point where everything was calm enough to do such. And now we're at a point where like you can do that easily, and there's so many resources and whatever. I don't know where this is going, but I wanted to bring up that point for some reason.
No, I think what I take away from what you said is I do think that there is something within that needs to be recognized or heard. It's just a matter of discerning between whether that is the actual inner voice or like a soul voice, or potentially it's just the ego. And that's where I find the line to be drawn. Like sometimes I feel like if I'm feeling like guilt or shame with something that I'm doing with regards to like masturbation or like a weird erotic role play with a bot that I created to try to, suss out why I have this particular desire I have, then I'm like, okay, well, I think this is learned behavior. Yeah. I think because of my past and the way I view the world, I am adding on and overwhelming myself with these feelings, and they feel unnecessary. Because in this moment I'm in, like it's just me here, and I'm just experiencing this thing. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like I'm just trying to suss it out, sort of thing. To figure out, to pick it apart, to analyze it, sort of thing. I don't really need these emotions attached with it. Whether or not it's good or bad, I can just journal and analyze that data and like create information essentially.
Yeah.
And figure it out for myself. Because I don't have to listen to all these past memories of voices in my head of who these people were or what they thought or whatever, or what they projected onto me to make who I am today. So I suppose. But also I think a lot of that is overthinking, and the simple way to do it is just do it and see what happens. So.
Yeah. I get
you. Yeah. But as far as like, I don't know, I mean certain... I don't disagree with you that certain demonic type rituals or what they classify as demonic are kind of creepy, depending on what it is.
Yeah. Do you ever like get that like, I don't know, I haven't like walked, I've only been in like one place in my life where like I walked into an area and just saw like really eerie, weird things, and like my whole body was like, shouldn't be around here. I mean, like I play video games with demonic junk, and like you know, you can play like Doom, and it's all gore and all that stuff, and all like weird and creepy. And I play horror game, all these things like you would think that you would feel, but like whenever I had walked, it was just like in the middle of the woods at like my grandparents' house. Like I just found like a, you know, it looked like a summoning circle with like candles and junk, and like just it wasn't like there's nothing super creepy, but it just felt eerie. And so like I just was like, no, it's time to go. I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't come across anything like that. I would imagine that I'm pretty desensitized to a lot of stuff now.
See, that's what I was, but I wasn't. I was like 16, so like I had already been, you know, Call of Duty had been out for a little bit.
It's probably your grandma's just doing witch rituals in the back.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I shouldn't tell grandma.
Yeah, I shouldn't interrupt. I mean, when I read about like the rituals of like you having to, I think it's like Satan's kiss is like kissing the like asshole of an animal, and that's something you have to do to like conjure Satan or something. Like, yeah, I think those are gross and
it's kind of a meme, actually.
Creepy and
like, will you do it? You really want to summon Satan?
Honestly, when I read about that, I was reading about the parasites, and a lot of people suspect that, like, you know, there's a lot of, I don't know, part of me believes it and part of me doesn't, but this idea of, like, parasites are often within, like, the colon and the gut.
Yeah.
And so in order to get close to Satan, you have to have parasites. And so in a way, this is like a way to get parasites in order to...
Sure.
Whatever.
Yeah, get closer to Satan.
But I don't know if I want to reduce all religiosity down to
worms.
Parasites. It could be fun. I mean, it's a funny thought. It's possible. But it is a ritual that's been done for years and time. So it's interesting, if anything.
Yeah. Whack.
But yeah, those things are gross.
Yeah.
It's whatever. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about this.
I have something to say.
Yeah.
What's up with your little waifu over there?
Yeah, I got it when I went over our buddy's house. He gave us some stickers.
Nice.
I'll show the camera.
Oh, did he get it from his beverage thingy?
Yeah, we're not sponsored by whatever waifus or whatever it is, but...
Wow. Just stare at that for a while.
Here, I'll bounce it for you if you...
Is this doing it for you?
Yeah, is this working?
Do you like this?
Go ahead. Do you need it a little faster? You like that motion blur on the quality of this camera? Makes it feel like it's real.
Would you like this?
Yeah.
You want me to...
Yeah.
Wait.
Make sure you just use the tip now. Yeah, that's what our next video has to be, a joy video.
A joy video?
Yeah, but it's not a jerk off instruction video. It's something else.
Gotcha.
Yeah, think of an acronym.
Fun.
No, I'm an acronym for JOI.
Fapping. I know. Yeah, no, I know what the jerk off instructions.
No, I know. I'm thinking of new acronym.
Oh, that's what I was just doing.
Of that.
Oh.
Like it's a joy originality instruction. I don't know, something.
Well, so like I was trying to make one with fun.
Yeah, but I want people when they would look up joy for our video to come up.
Okay.
That's what We'll do it. We'll do it when we're more awake.
Yeah, no, clearly we're both like tired.
Yeah, I feel more monotone, but I think that's just the Michigander in me.
It's early too. I mean, like, dude, whenever we start like losing the sun, I mean the sun's coming back now. We're past the solstice or whatever not the solstice. Is it the solstice for the? What's the night one?
I don't know. I'm
called?
not pagan, bro. Figure it out.
Well, the solstice is like where the sun is at its most.
We're past the winter equinox.
Equinox, there it is.
I don't know if that's what it is.
I think that's it.
Okay.
I think you got it.
Okay.
But basically, so now we're going to get more sunlight. But like winter sucks when there's like no sunlight.
Yeah, I've been taking vitamin D and my multivitamin. I feel good, but I had to wake up a little early to do that thing before our cast. So,
what's your sleep schedule been like?
It's been kind of shit.
Yeah.
It's been pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like, so, I read this article a long time ago because Jade had sent it to me about people that stay up late. It's because they want to feel like a sense of control in their life.
Sure.
And like they don't fall asleep at the same time because the time where they go to bed and they're like alone is like the only alone time they get, sort of thing. And I find that pretty interesting because I do find myself like kind of playing on my phone a little bit before I go to bed, even for like an hour or 2 hours or something. Like I'll go to sleep and then I'll be like, well, I want to like play. I want to, you know.
This is like my time.
Yeah, I want to chill. I want to read stuff. I want to whatever. And but unfortunately, I'm doing it with the phone, so that blue light just ends up keeping me up longer. So it's probably not a really healthy thing, but it's been cutting into my sleep.
That blue light thing has gone back and forth like 7 times. Because like at the beginning, they're like, hey, blue light, big deal, blue light. And then people are like, it's not a big deal. And now it's a big deal again, and it'll probably not be a big deal again. Yeah, it's a weird thing.
I think at the end of the day, it just goes back to my thing about the overthinking things. Like I'm sure blue light does contribute in some way. To what effect, I do not know. But I mean, idealistically, you should just probably, it seems like the goal is to, I don't even know. I want to say with surety that your goal is to go to sleep at a certain time and wake up at a certain time, but it doesn't really matter.
Here's what I find, because I have cousins that sleep like immaculately. They go to bed at like 9:30, wake up at like 7, and like get a good 10-hour-ish sleep. And like that's wonderful for them, but like I don't know, I get 6 hours, I'm okay, and then like on Saturday I'll get 10, and I'm refilled. But like for them, what I see is that they value the sleep because that's what makes them feel the best. Whereas for me is getting more dubs on Clash Royale.
No, dude, I completely get it. I mean, I have the privilege of being able to do stuff whenever I want, but because I've been doing more manager-related duties for the buildings or whatever, these people are all on like an early time schedule. And whenever we have to schedule something to be done, they're like, yeah, can we do it at 8? I'm like, no, you fucking mong. I'm not doing 8 a.m. in the morning. Like, in general, I kind of wake up at like 10 every day.
Yeah.
I'm pretty close to that. And I go to bed at 2 a.m. So I have an 8-hour window of sleep, but sometimes I push into that sleep by staying up to like 3 or something, playing on my phone or whatever.
Oh, Jesus. See, I see midnight, and I'm like, I'm going to die. I need to sleep now.
I've been 2 a.m., but I've also been 2 a.m. because like Jade's up like really late every single night. And so to like help her out and manage our time, that's kind of where I balance a little bit.
Yeah.
I think idealistically I would like to do a midnight thing again.
Go to bed at midnight?
Yeah, I used to do that probably at the halfway point of last year, I think. And then I started doing the 2 a.m. But I think you can, I mean, I even did biphasic sleeping for a little bit of period of time. I think I talked about it on the podcast, but Jade had brought up this study where they had people in like a artificial room or something like that with artificial light, and they found that when all things were removed, like all fluorescent lights, and people were just allowed to, I think it was, they removed fluorescent light and they only allowed natural light. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
But whatever the case, they found that people would go to sleep and then they'd wake up really early in the morning for like 1 to 2 hours, do something, and then fall asleep again. So they'd have a 2 sleep cycle. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I sleep on Saturdays. I'll wake up usually because my alarm goes off for work at like 6-ish. So like 6 close to 7, I'll wake up for like a couple minutes, like look at my phone, see that it's like 6 or 7, put my phone back down, and then one of the cats will come and lay on me. I don't know, my cat waits for me to like wake up in the morning, and then he'll want to get pets, so I gotta pet him. So then I pet him, and then he'll eventually, all right, I'm good, and walk away, and then I fall back asleep. So that's just...
Yeah, I was trying to lean into it, and so what I did was I would go to sleep, and then I would wake up for like 1 to 2 hours, and during that time I would read a book. Like I would turn on just a dim light, read a book for a little bit, and then I'd go back to bed. And that's what I did for like a couple weeks.
It's not bad.
It was pretty good, honestly. I wouldn't mind doing it
Yeah.
eternally like that. But the problem is society doesn't function on that schedule. And so like when stuff needs to get done and I have like this, like I'm like, oh yeah, so I'm going to be up for 2 hours and then I'm going to be like in the morning, like when everybody else is maybe, depending on what time it is. And then I'm just going to be asleep for like another 4 hours. Like, it's just weird.
Yeah. Well, like, I'm sure the people around here, everybody starts at like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
That's just what. I mean, like, everybody around here, that's just like the schedule.
Everything is, and it seems silly because, I mean, even school when we were younger started at like 8.
Yes.
At least I remember 8.
Well, didn't elementary school started later?
Yeah.
So I think elementary school started at 8, but high school started at 7.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because we got out before the elementary school, I think.
Yeah, I hated waking up that early for that shit.
So like whenever I'm on a streak of waking up early, I get used to it and I enjoy it. I like waking up early, making my coffee, and like having the morning to exist. But like I've been, after like doing night shift, 2 years ago, that screwed me up because then I started sleeping till 8, and that became like a good natural point because I didn't have to have an alarm, so I think I just felt the best.
Yeah.
Going to bed at like 11, 12-ish, and then waking up at 8, 9, and then going to the gym and all that. So, but yeah, dude, sleep's pretty cool.
Yeah, sleep is neat. I've had some cool dreams recently. Have you had any?
I keep having like. Oh, God, they're like extended storybook dreams.
Dude, that sounds fun.
But I'll wake up and I'll tell Rebecca them. If I don't tell Rebecca them, I won't remember them. Like this morning I had one, and I woke up. I forgot to set my alarm, but I woke up a little bit late for work, and I just got up and went to work. So I didn't get a chance to write it down. All I remember is like I was like, man, this is a big story thread that's going on here. And I even slept walk in the middle of it, so you know it was good.
Yeah, it had to be super good. You were a part of it, physically.
Yeah. I remember waking up last night, walking downstairs to go let someone in the house. So, like, I was, like, looking through, like, drawers. I'm like, I gotta find appropriate pants to wear to, like, open the door. And, like, I put on the pants. I walk downstairs, like, into our main room. I'm in the kitchen, like, wait. And I look at the oven, and I'm like, it's 3. I'm like, oh, there's nobody here. And, like, went back to bed. Like
that sounds like an epic plot, dude.
Yeah. But anyway, what do you?
I think the dream that I had that I liked the most recently. I mean, there are dreams I hate that I have. I had one that I really hated recently as well. I guess I'll tell you the one I hated first. It was like a desert, and there was like 2 baby birds.
Okay.
And they had this rope around their neck, and they were like choking, and they couldn't get air. But I didn't have the capacity to remove the cord around their necks. I just had to watch them die, essentially.
Jesus.
I was like, wow, that's a horrible dream to wake up to. I thought when I woke up, I'm like, this is fucking awful.
Yeah.
But I have, in the past, I've mentioned having the 2 animal dreams.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm like regressing or.
You're killing them now.
Yeah. So it was always 2 animals that, and you know, there's a lot of stuff in alchemy and all of that symbolism of like, you're kind of like 2 people. And I was like,
there's maybe I'm just wolves inside you.
Yeah, there's 2 wolves inside of me under the moonlight, and I'm like, maybe I'm stifling both of them because I'm not doing anything for either.
Yeah.
I'm not catering to either one. I'm not pursuing anything intellectually like I want to, or physically, or spiritually, like none of these things. I'm leaving them dead, choking in the desert, basically, because I don't want to deal with either. I don't want to deal with the dark. I can't accept the dark aspect of myself or the light. So that's kind of what I thought of when I saw that dream. And thinking back on it, I think that's true. So I just need to do. But the other dream I had recently, which was very interesting to me, was I had taken a shower, and it was just at the end of the shower, and I had walked out of the door, and on the door I saw like a dead wasp that was like stuck to the door, like a dried husk of like a insect. I thought that was particularly interesting. And then I shook it off the door, and I was like, oh, I'll clean it up later. And then I walked outside, and then I'd gone like to my backyard, like near the edge of the trail, and then there was a trailer, and I sat on the trailer, and there was a girl there, and I don't remember seeing her face. I just remember she was like supposed to be my girlfriend, and she was pretty. And then I had said like, oh, I can't do anything. Like my breath smells like fish and lemon or something right now. Like that's awful. And she's like, I don't care. And then like kissed me.
Uh-huh.
And then after we like made out a little bit, she pulled away. And then I leaned in and kissed her. And then I kind of like bit her upper lip or whatever. And I woke up and I was like, man, it was a great dream. But from what I took from it, it was like, so I consider like water usually is like a symbol of rebirth or like you're going through like a resurrection or something. And I the symbol of the hornet seems to be like some sort of thing that like an aggressive enemy that is now dead. I don't have to deal with it anymore. It maybe in the past it was much bigger than I thought it was, and now it's like nothing, and I'm just shaking it off. Essentially, it's something I can pick up the pieces of that later and throw it away. But for now, it doesn't matter. And then the idea of like going outside, and then even like to leave my abode, my house, my home, to go outside and then to like sit next to the woman who I sort of imagine is like some aspect of the anima in some capacity. But I also think that whole situation of like the kissing, despite my bad breath, is like a yearning for like some sort of unconditional love. Like it doesn't matter who you are or what you are feeling in this moment. Like I'll still feel that love for you, sort of thing. I was like, oh, that's pretty. I mean, that's what I analyzed from the dream generally, and I was like, this seems pretty good. I quite like that. I mean,
it's nice.
And that was before the dead baby bird dying, oxygen deprived double bird story in the desert. So I don't know what's happening in my mind, but I suppose I got to figure it out. So yeah, those have been cool dreams for me lately.
Damn,
they've been fun.
See, like all of mine have been like epic tales. Like I don't know if you remember me telling you about the Five Nights at Freddy's mall one.
Yeah, you did.
They're all like close to that, and I wake up and like, man, I should write this down. And like as I'm like remembering it, telling it to Rebecca or whatever, I'll just like be like, it's leaving now. Damn it! If only I could record this.
Yeah, I try to write everything down, and sometimes I'm too lazy and I don't. But I have this thing now where if I don't write it down, I feel bad. So I always try to write even something down, even if it's like a sentence. Like, oh, this is generally what I saw in the dream or whatever.
Yeah.
And now I got like over a year of dream logs.
Yeah, you've been doing that for a while.
I haven't analyzed every one of them, but I mean, I sort of pick the ones that I'm like, okay, this is interesting, or I do think about them, I guess. I try to keep it in my head, at least whatever it is, but.
Damn.
To what effect that has, I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah. So, yeah, dude. Dreaming.
Dreams.
You did Christmas.
We did Christmas.
How was your Christmas?
It was pretty good. I was showing you the Purelette bars that I got, which honestly, that was my favorite thing. I got a bunch of tools.
Yeah.
But as far as Christmas goes, it went well. I tried to avoid, like I said earlier, as much family function as possible because it's usually stressful.
Oh, yeah.
They treat it kind of like as a means to an end for, I don't know. Just, it's like, oh, we got to rush through this, and we got to do this, and we got to do dinner, and then we got to do presents, and it's like, ugh, God, I hate this shit. Like, I just want to, I'd rather just sit and talk, basically. But this time it was like, oh, we got to play 20 rounds of bingo. I'm like, dog, I don't even like bingo that much.
Why? Why bingo, though?
I don't know. My mom made, like, these bingo things. It was fine. It was fun. Like, I was making a bunch of sex jokes the entire time, basically. It was really funny. I forget. I had this great one with my aunt. It was like,
B69?
No. My mom had, like, all these, different things. Like, one of them was, like, elves' bells or something like that. And another one was, like, Santa's gut, or I don't know. It's just like weird. It was like Santa's jelly belly or something like that. It's just like weird, or like sitting on Santa's lap. So I was making a bunch of jokes constantly about that. I can't remember the one that was. Oh, we were making jokes, something about like Christmas cookies, and my aunt had grabbed a Christmas cookie and it had like white frosting on it, and I had made some kind of joke like oh, there's a lot of white frosting on it. Or something like that, and she had said like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to swallow it all, or something like that. We were going back and forth. It was so fucking funny, dude. Holy shit, fucking hilarious. And then even my little cousin is like dying because somehow he gets all these like jokes.
How young is he?
Yeah, he's I think he's like.
This is the same video game cousin?
Yeah, video game cousin. I honestly don't know how old he is. I keep forgetting. I want to say like
9.
Yeah, I want to say like 9,
yeah.
10, something like that, but I'll ask him next time I see him.
They get the sex jokes.
Yeah, he's like his dad was like, "How are you getting all these?" And he's like, "Yeah, you'd be surprised what the kids say at like school and stuff like that."
Yeah. I mean, like, you remember school.
Yeah, school, and I can imagine it's even worse with all these kids having phones and internet. Yeah,
you're like in elementary school, like, hey guys, you want to go to Pornhub?
Yeah, it's not like, hey, let's go play soccer outside. It's like, dude, you guys want to all beat off in the bathroom together?
Hey, I got a goon circle going.
Yeah. There's this like super great Joy video I've been watching. And it works for 3 people. Each one picks a role. It's like a hidden roles game. It's like playing werewolf with the boys.
Who is the Coomer?
Yeah. And each person, they have to follow a different beat. You ever see like the DDR, like arrows go up? It's basically like that, but
the
for 3
most
people.
complicated. Like,
yeah, it's like it takes skill to do. You have to like edge, but you also have to do it to a beat. And then there's like a it just looks like an empty silhouette of a hand, and then there's like a hand flying up.
Yeah.
And as soon as it's just you gotta pump, kid. These are horrible ideas.
Yeah.
This is the stuff my brain feeds me 24/7.
Isn't it good?
You're only getting a snippet of it.
Just see, like, but I have the same. I don't know. I do the same.
Yeah.
I think it's just we're corrupted.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, I don't think I'm special.
I think that
society's corrupted, and I'm a result of it.
Yeah, we just live here, man. Like I'm trying to regrow a mullet. We're getting there.
You're getting there.
We're getting there. But
you just want to go back to your past that bad, huh?
I like the mullet.
Yeah.
I look back on the mullet and I'm like, I kind of like that greasy, dumb hairstyle. But so anyways, Christmas is good. Did you do a New Year's party?
No, wait, I gotta ask you about your Christmas. How was your Christmas?
My Christmas?
Stop making me be selfish and only talk about myself.
Here we go. You ready for this, dude? 2 weeks before Christmas, made 520 or 30, whatever, 500 a billion pierogies. Made them all.
That's awesome. Yeah, I saw pictures.
This is bad.
Facebook.
This is, it's my mom.
Talk to her on the show.
Okay. Hello? Hi. Yes. Okay. If you wanted, I don't know what day, but can I call you back in a little bit? Okay. Bye. All right.
Quick.
Yeah, that was good. All right, good.
That's how Sam talks to his mom, in case you were wondering.
No. All right, wait a second. Hey, I'm on this thing. All right, she can respect this. All right, but whenever I'm in the car, it's at least a half hour. At least. Okay. But anyway, what was I about to say? Oh, yeah, the pierogies.
Yeah, the pierogies.
She heard me say it through the...
Yeah, it was telepathic. Void. She's like...
Okay, so have all the aunts and uncles in the garage at my parents' house. They're all, like, filling the pierogies, pinching them closed, and then they put them onto a sheet. I grab them, and I boil them. I'm the boiler. It's my job. It's been my job since I was, like, 10.
It sounds like somebody's going to take this job from you.
No, they always make fun of me. They're like, oh, he's not doing any work. Because at the beginning, I don't have anything to do other than to heat up my water. But, like, aunts, uncles, everybody's, like, pinching. Oh, the boiler guy doesn't do anything. But what they don't recognize is that I work late into the hours. While they're gone, I'm still boiling.
You're boiling all day. You get there early, and you boil through the night.
That's right. Burning the midnight oil.
Yeah.
Literally. So, but anyway, made a lot of pierogies. That was one weekend. Okay, so that began Christmas weekend. That was the weekend before Christmas. So then, like, we get to Monday. I had to meet up with, like, a friend that, like, randomly was like, hey, man, we worked together a while ago. You want to go get some drinks? Went and got a couple drinks with that guy. Came back home. Tuesday, only day I spent at home the week of Christmas. Didn't do anything special that day. Wednesday, work party with my company, work people. So, one employee. But we went out and ate dinner, all that stuff. That was cool. Then the next day, another work party, drinking, a bunch of people, all that stuff, whatever. Friday, different work party. No, I went and visited my grandpa, and then we went to get Mexican food, drank food. Good. The next day was that's the Saturday, the day before Christmas Eve. Went back to my parents' house, made kielbasa. Okay, made a bunch of kielbasa, did all that. Drinking. Epic. Great. Leave. Go back there the next day for Christmas Eve to eat the kielbasa. We'd fish kielbasa. We'd do like whatever, a big Polish meal. All right. More drinking, all that stuff. Spend the night at my parents' house, get like 4 hours of sleep, wake up the next day, do like gift giving and all that stuff with my parents and all that, and then drove to Rebecca's parents' house, spent some time there. I was dead. All the drinking, all that stuff, just it killed me. So, anyways, we get home like Christmas Day, and I'm like, I'm just gonna take a nap. Like we didn't, me and Rebecca didn't do our gift exchange or anything, but I was just went and slept. So that was Christmas.
It sounds like super busy.
It was busy every day, and in between those times I was working, and it's just like I don't know, man.
I have seen you on League of Legends terminally.
Yeah. Well, so after that, I was supposed to go to Cleveland, and instead of going to Cleveland, I had time off. So now I had terminal League of Legends.
I see.
Yeah, and then New Year's Eve went to a party.
What was your favorite event out of all those that you did?
I like making... I always love Christmas Eve dinner. I don't really care for all the activities before and everybody trying to see each other. I mean, I like seeing people, don't get me wrong, but it's just too much at once.
Yeah.
So, like, it was nice. Christmas Eve dinner was delicious. And then just, like, I don't know, being home with my wife was nice on Christmas night. So.
That's good.
We drank eggnog. I don't even like eggnog, but we found some that was really good. So that was a
store-bought brand.
Yeah, didn't make it ourselves, but it wasn't the garbage one. It was Southern Comfort, which is the whiskey company. They have eggnog that doesn't have whiskey and it's delicious.
Wow, interesting. So,
in case anybody's wondering.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up if I ever drink again.
Well, it doesn't have any alcohol.
Oh, well, if I want eggnog,
then you just drink the eggnog.
Yeah, then I'll look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you ever drink again.
We're not sponsored, but...
there was a point here that I was trying to get to that I'm trying to remember what the purpose of was. But anyways, we made a lot of pierogies. Drank a lot of drink. And lived. And then I saw you. What day was that?
We had like the 20...
That was like the Thursday?
So
no, that was after Christmas.
7th, yeah, it was after Christmas.
Okay, yeah, so then after Christmas I went and saw you guys. That was fun.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
We played Red Dragon Inn.
Mm-hmm.
That's a game.
Yeah.
It's good. It's all right.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like there's got to be a way to improve it, but I don't have the...
I think the problem is that they force, like, obviously, like, you have the base game, because there's, like, gambling, drinking, and taking damage. Those are the 3 ways you die, right? So, like, everything has to base around that. Well, it's like, certain characters are going to be better at gambling, or drinking, or health. And so, like, even though there's, like, a billion different characters, or maybe not a billion, but there's a bunch of different characters, a bunch of different cards for each character. It's like, if I'm going to play this character, I know how they play, and I don't know. It doesn't feel like you have to strategize.
No.
You don't, you just, yeah.
I mean, I do feel like there's at least strategy in the, you can discard as many cards as you want and, like, draw cards, but I guess my problem with it is I feel like every character basically has, like, the same shit.
Yes.
And even seeing the other characters that people played, they're not that much different.
No, it's just the balance of their deck is more towards drinking or health.
And even then, they're, like, balanced towards not even being that overpowered with whatever their balance is. So,
yeah.
Like, I would rather have somebody that's just, like, straight gambles or something. I don't know. Just, like...
Yeah. If you take it, like, a guy that would be like, if you took a drink... They can have everybody else pay you a gold.
Or I'd probably rather the decks be the same for everyone, and then just add, like, 10 character cards for their character.
That's how it is.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Yeah.
But they still have a separate deck with their name on the back of it, which is stupid.
Yeah.
But then I would probably add an actual, like, activated ability on the character card for the character to do at any time.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like, somebody could have, like, discard 3 cards and ignore 1 alcohol content of a drink.
Yeah.
Like, something to give the character some sort of unique identity outside of just, like, oh, here's this character's version of this gambling card.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fucking boring.
It's like I was playing the character who had the special gamble card and then the other character with the special damage card.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, okay, you don't have to pay anything and then you just deal 3 damage rather than 2, which is the default. It's like, it's not that special.
Yeah, and then I found some abilities to be, like, crazy.
Your fireball one?
Yeah, that fireball is hella overpowered. Even the regen card is, like, way overpowered.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I was playing it right, so...
So whenever I played him, it was with some other people, and what they did... I think you played it right, but they played it wrong. Because they said that I could only go back to where my alcohol token was. So, like, the Drunken Chi was only ever 1 ahead of the drinking token. So nothing ever worked. So, like, oh, deal damage according to how much Drunken Chi you have. So then if I had 10 alcohol and 11 Drunken Chi, I would only have 1.
Oh, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it didn't, but I just was like, the guy knew the game better than me, seemingly. But he obviously...
Yeah, but I also know that the instructions for the card were poorly worded.
Yes, they're terrible.
I'm pretty sure the idea of the card is that whenever you drink any amount of alcohol, you get equal amount points of chi based on that. But the way it's worded is you get 1 chi when you drink. But it's I'm pretty positive it's 1 for each alcohol. Honestly, I should probably go on Board Game Geek and look it up because he is a very weird character.
Yeah.
But he's also overpowered as fuck if he works the way that I think he does. So I'm not entirely sure. I mean, he's not overpowered.
You still didn't win.
Yeah, I didn't win. So he's not overpowered.
It's you have like 3 cards in your deck that are meaningful, and the rest is like standard junk.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Honestly, the thing if I had to pick anything I hate about the game the most, it's the counters and the way the cards are named. Like, I hate reading a counter and saying, like, this can get rid of a something card or an action card or a whatever. It's like, just name them something else. Like, fucking something card is retarded. It's like there's a something card, there's a nothing card, and there's a maybe card, and you can count on one of those 3 things. It's like, give me like a color or like some kind of icon, or like, this is so unreadable, or like make it bold. Or
I think that their purpose was because it was like it's a sometimes action
that's what it is.
and a anytime.
Yeah,
and so they just tried to make it so that way it's like, okay, sometimes cards are conditional.
Yeah.
Anytime cards are anytime, and then action cards can only be played as an action.
Yeah, which is it's like straightforward. I guess it felt awkward reading it because it's like, what am I like? In my head, obviously, as a Magic player, I'm like, okay, instants can be played anytime, sorcery can only be played on your turn, and whatever. And I've seen games come up with different things. Like I'm pretty sure Yu-Gi-Oh has like the quick spells, quick cast, or things like that. They can be played at any time, and like each game does its own version of it. But I found the sometimes, anytime, and like that just sounded so dumb. It was like reading it. I'm like, is this made by a child? Why? Just come up with a word, dude.
Yeah. The language on your Drunken Chi guy literally sounded like they translated it from like Portuguese.
Yeah, that's what it does sound like. It sounds like broken English.
Yeah, and it just doesn't describe anything in detail, which makes the character just the most confusing.
Yeah, I probably would have given an example of how it works on the card. Like, you drink 3 alcohol, you gain 3 Drunken Chi. Simple. That would have been easy. Got it. But it's like, you gain 1 for every drink, and it's like, okay, well, is that like every number of the drink, or is that just every drink that I had? It's weird. This is like a random thing.
Yeah,
but
we're just
our
venting
podcast,
about
so
this.
I'm gonna rage about this as much as I fucking want.
But yeah, we drew on a piece of paper. And
yeah, that was fun. Yeah, I have it.
Oh, it's because the person that we called in episode 8, Cabin Fever, if you don't recall, was in town.
I'm going to show it really quick, but I'm not going to show you the rest of it. So you got to pause it if you want to see it.
Wait, I want to. Which one?
I was hiding up the
Oh. Oh.
I just had to hide the thing on there.
Yeah, just a quick thing, just in case.
There's probably other bad stuff on there I didn't think about, but it doesn't matter.
I mean, there's like I tried to draw like a steak.
I'm trying to spare you.
Yeah.
Anyway. Spare the audience. Yeah, so our buddy from the military came.
Yeah.
And he wanted us to spend the night to keep him warm, but
yeah, I let him be cold.
Yeah.
You know, he lives in a cold place anyway, so
he can tolerate it.
Yeah, Antarctica, Arctic Circle.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Where the polar bears roam free.
Don't ask what they're doing up there with the military, but let's just say we know some things.
Isn't Antarctica below us?
Yeah.
What else is on your mind, man?
New Year's Eve. Played a different board game.
Yeah, what is it?
Truth or Drink.
Sounds like a drinking game.
Yeah, it was a drinking game. But now, so this is with family.
Okay.
Brother-in-law, right? Brother-in-law and his friends and my other brother-in-law and they both their wives, right? They're all there. And so, like, this game there's no point to it other than, like, you get points for essentially answering a truth instead of drinking. So somebody pulls a card. There's 4 spiciness levels. You have tame, mild, hot, and extra spicy. The extra spicy ones are all like, how would you have sex with me is the question, essentially. It's like every time it's like, if you were to give me head, what word would you say while doing it?
What word would you say?
I don't know.
Like, I feel like you'd be like, your voice would be muffled because your face would be stuffed with cock.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like you'd say anything.
It's just I'm just giving an example.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could say like mustard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me that mustard, baby.
Well, I think it's too for like girls, right?
Oh,
you know, you do the tongue thing with make the letters.
Yeah.
So basically, though, with like family, essentially, like husband and wife sitting next to each other, and like they're like asking each other like sex questions and stuff, and like.
So you got really drunk. You just kept drinking.
No, I answered every single
really?
one. There was a question where it was like, how many partners would you have sex with, max and stuff, and then there was like one of the ones that everyone was asked because there's different types. So like they're like, what's something that you thought was normal from porn? And I'm like, giant cock size. And like they were like, what do you mean by that? I'm like, do I have to go into detail?
Yeah.
Like porn dicks are massive.
Yeah, they're not normal. Yeah.
So like,
I want to know your answer to the partners thing.
One. Yeah, I said 1.
Is that the real answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's maximum. I'm a very focused lover, and so I think having multiple people would be difficult.
So it just means in one session?
Yeah, not like if you're having an orgy, what's the maximum number of people?
I feel like I could do multiple. I think it'd be fun to try it, but I don't think I could be as attentive, obviously.
Yeah. I want to focus on my one lover. Mm-hmm. All right, that's all.
You're a romantic.
I am.
Yeah, I can see your windswept hair.
Sup, babe?
Yeah, sup. I'm just a one and done kind of guy.
I have these weird things where I just see that on there, and I imagine like some girl in 20 years when her podcast is popped off, they're making thirst traps like, sup, babe? And there's like music, it's on TikTok.
Yeah, that's what I love about the low resolution of this video I'm recording, because it's going to look like found camera footage in like 10 years.
Yeah, it's like we filmed this like 10 years ago now, but it's now.
I love the idea of like, not this getting popular. I think at some point I kind of fantasized about our podcast getting popular, but now I don't even care about it anymore. I just love the idea of like, so I've been thinking a lot about J-Reg has this video where he does like is it the theory of everything? I don't know, some weird video, but in it he had a really good point, was that advice is contextual. So when somebody gives you advice, you need to consider, like, do you want to be this person? Like, if they're miserable, do you want to be as miserable as them? Because their advice is essentially like their path explained like an instruction manual to you. It's like having a magazine subscription to become them.
Yeah.
And so I love the idea of like somebody, like wherever we go in life, no matter where it is like, yeah, I really want to like see what these people were like before they became that.
Yeah.
And then like they'll just be able to watch the podcast, like this sometimes weekly like podcast of just us becoming whatever it was.
Yeah.
They'll be able to see it. You could probably write like a psychoanalytic
yeah.
thing. Like, because
a psychologist could study our
because they'll be like, oh, they talk about their dreams.
Yeah.
They talk about like what they're feeling, and like they're kind of vulnerable sometimes on the podcast.
Yeah.
And then they also have like weird jokes where they're like wherever. And so I'm sure somebody could build like a mental profile of that. I'm sure some AI in the future will just be able to run through all of our podcasts and make like ersatz version of ourselves to then talk to people.
Yeah, I mean, like, we're closer to that than you think, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. If they can take like, I mean, they gotta be pretty close.
All you would need, like, we're like one step removed from fully automated, right? Because right now, all you would need is to write an AI with like our character traits and what we've talked about, right? But like, if you had an AI that could watch the video and describe the people in the video, then you could use that to give it to another AI to become the personalities, and then use a voice thing to answer questions.
Yeah, it could just honestly, and at some point you could probably get it to visually make us.
Yeah.
And then we could just automate the podcast. You know, there's actually something I thought about recently because it really fucking annoyed me. I was watching this, there's this channel on YouTube called like Draw Whiteboard Creativity, I don't know, something.
What?
But it's basically like they take famous talks from famous people or like essays or things like that, and then they'll have the person speaking, and then all they do is and I say all they do, like these things are immaculate. They look beautiful when the guy's done with them, or girl, or whoever draws them. But they drew like whiteboard paintings, and then they scroll it to the left and do more whiteboard like drawing, and then scroll to the left. Like, it's great. It looks amazing. Love the channel. Love listening to essays.
Yeah.
Super good. Sorry I don't remember the name now. I'll put it in the description if I remember that in 5 months when I edit this.
Yeah.
But regardless, you can probably just look up whiteboard philosophy or something. But one of the videos recently I really hated, it was this guy talking about AI and ChatGPT, and it came across as like that in the Hunger Games where they do that like Mockingbird like speech or something, where they're like, or Mockingjay, whatever it is, they're like, oh, we're gonna fight back again. I think it happens in the movie, or maybe I'm misremembering, but it was like that. It was like ChatGPT is the bad guy, and they're trying to ruin the soul of creativity, and all this like shit about like we need to rise up against like it felt like this like petulant, childish like it was.
Yeah.
It made me fucking cringe. And the reason it made me cringe so much is because I feel like ChatGPT or any of these AIs that you use them in a capacity that is reflective of who you are.
Yeah.
So yes, I do agree with the sentiment that if you are somebody that is just lazy and using ChatGPT to offload all of the creative process of writing a song, and you're having it do the chords and the lyrics and everything else, and the strumming pattern, whatever, you're telling it to do all these things, then yes, I think you are creatively bankrupting your soul in some capacity by not expressing who you are. But if you use it as like in a more positive capacity, like, hey, I'm trying to figure out chords or how to play certain chords, or can you come up with a different way to play like an F chord that sounds like more melodic, like just asking it for information, like using it to learn. Like, it's a double-edged sword, essentially. If you're going to claim that all AI is bad, it's because you're retarded. That's what I think. Like, there is obviously, and I say that, I'm not trying to be 100% on this. I understand that there are bad uses for AI.
Sure.
But I think it is very reflective of who you are and how you use it.
I was listening to a Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
where they had AI buddies on there,
Mm-hmm.
and they were all worried about AI. Like, I'll pitch you to what I think the big concern is with AI. It's not necessarily that it's going to take over stuff. I think it will inevitably. Anyway, I think that the biggest thing is that they're worried about corporations taking it over and making it something that just makes money for engagement that affects people negatively.
Mm-hmm.
Their biggest point, and I forget the name of the people that were on the podcast. Their biggest point was look at like social media, right? Facebook has like people just doom scrolling on it. Instagram, all of them have this infinite scrolling, whatever, all over them. And if we went ahead of it and said, hey, why don't we limit this or find a way to make this less negative for the people using it, then we could have had a better time with the social media and less people would have been depressed from it. Little girls wouldn't kill themselves over like Instagram and all that stuff. Right? So they're looking at it like this is going to come no matter what. It's something that can be very beneficial to human society and all that stuff. But we have to make sure that it isn't going to be something that's going to be used for just greed or evil, I guess.
Honestly, I fully expect it in every capacity to be used for both things. Like I saw recently, some people are suspecting that the latest Disney movie Wish is just AI. Like not the animating part of it, but the script.
Story,
Yeah, it was written by AI because it's so like robotic and
generic,
unconnected and generic. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's been their movies for a little bit. I
Kind
think.
of, yeah. I think it's a funny assertion.
Yeah.
With ChatGPT being out, it is obviously capable of making something like that.
Yeah. Well, I think their biggest problem is they're trying to appeal. They're like, we can't hurt anybody's feelings, so we can't do anything fun. But like, I don't know if you watched Encanto.
Yeah, I did watch Encanto.
That one wasn't bad. I liked that one.
It was okay. I didn't like the music.
You didn't like the music?
There was only like a song or two that I was like, oh, this is okay. But
the first time I heard them, I was like, oh, this is fine. But I heard them a lot because my wife likes the Disney movies, and so I grew to not like them as much.
I remember disliking the story, but I enjoyed the theme of like, I don't know what you want to call it, like Latina culture.
Yeah.
Latin America, Mexico,
whatever. It's refreshing to see other cultures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind that aspect of it because it's kind of interesting, but it also, like, the story was just, it felt like there was a lot of, I don't know, nothing. It's like a...
Oh, yeah, it wasn't... well, that's what I'm saying is I think, like, most of the movies are kind of like, that Disney makes anyway, are kind of like just puffs of air, and they're like, here you go, it has no flavor, but it's something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of funny how that stuff sort of hits, because it's hard to say. I mean, I don't want to... How do I say this? I don't think I'm smarter than Disney, but I definitely take more risk than Disney.
Yes.
And I think that...
the Magumbo Corporation Disney.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I think the risk are what end up paying out more, but... Who knows? Maybe I don't know what their books look like. So I mean, Frozen probably made a shit ton of money.
Yes.
So,
but yeah, and that's partially it. A lot of their stuff I think relies on them making money off of the songs existing, and that sells
and merch and whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, okay, if Let It Go or whatever from Frozen wasn't in that, would people care about Frozen? Probably not.
I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to say.
I don't think so. I don't think
I honestly never even watched the movie, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But I know the song.
Yeah. So yeah, but you see exactly. So like culturally, you know about the movie just because of the song. But if we wouldn't even be talking about it if it didn't have the song in it.
And because of Elsa Gate and all the Elsa porn and whatever is out there. Yeah.
I think that was also from the song. So without that, we would have been fine in society, and that's where everything went down. Was when Let It Go.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
When the ice penis came out.
That's right. The ice penis.
Yeah. And she let it go. All over her sister. I think that's his sister, right?
I think that's how the movie went. Yeah, there was an ice penis and she let it go.
That's what it was. That's what the story's about as far as I'm concerned. I've only seen hypercuts on Pornhub, so I don't know.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think you've only seen an edited.
Yeah, just a few
version.
Clips of it, yeah, where she lets it go. She bukakes her sister's face.
Wow.
Yeah, and then it melts because it's ice, obviously.
It's ice.
She's got ice balls.
She's got
snow all over her face, like an avalanche.
Do you prefer plums, apricots, or peaches?
Peaches.
Yeah?
What about you?
Flavor? You ever have a really good plum?
I've had good plums.
I feel like a really good plum is better than a peach, but the average peach is better than a average plum.
See, I like the wet softness of a peach once it's ripe.
Or sorry, peach. Whenever peaches are good or normal, they're better than a plum at normal.
I find plums kind of like a large, like sweeter grape almost. But peaches, they got a flavor that only a peach can match.
That's true.
Yeah.
But some people are so turned off by the fuzz.
See, I like the fuzz.
Yeah, I don't mind.
I feel like I'm biting into something.
Like an animal.
Yeah. Whereas like the plum skin is like really thin, and apricots are just like a tiny, really overly sweet.
They're a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So I like that they're orange, but that's about it.
I was more or less going for, what do you prefer to call your balls? Was my...
I thought we were talking about ass shapes.
Oh, okay.
Like she got a plum.
They're all kind of like almost the same.
I don't think so.
I see the differences.
You're just not imaginative enough. That's the problem.
So you like the orangeness of apricots?
Yeah, like
what does that mean?
Some girls got a little orange to them.
Just a little fake tan.
Just a little orange, yeah. Sometimes you like the spray tan, dude.
You're like, oh yeah, that really changes it up for me.
Yeah, so you spank it, it makes a different color. It's not red, it's like orange red.
I'm more of a, I'm gonna go with peach.
Yeah.
And all of the above. So.
You don't like the purpleness of the plum?
Like I said, if it's a really good plum, it's better than a peach.
Yeah.
But it has to be a really good plum.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, anyways, spicy board game.
Yeah, so you did that and your family now thinks differently of you, right?
No. I was surprised that that nothing happened of it.
Really? They didn't ask you to be like, well, Sam, since you're such a, focused lover, I guess I'll have to borrow you tomorrow.
One of the guys that was one of my brother-in-law's friends had asked me, oh God, what was the exact wording of the question? What would it take for me to sleep, or for you to sleep with me? And he's like, a dude, I'm like, I need to spend 40 days walking through the desert, and you are the first person I see. That's what it would take.
Really? That's what you think it would take?
I was being like funny and at least trying to.
Well, realistically, what would it take for you to sleep with him?
I don't know. I would have to be single.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're in a world where that's true, right? Yeah. I don't know. Does he have any interest in me? I find that attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Desire for you, yeah.
So yeah, if he had any desire for me, so I just flipped the table. Then I would be interested, I guess.
I can't help but notice that you didn't say the words that you would have to be gay. So there is some bi in you.
Yeah, for sure.
There we go. We don't have to take Klein's sexual test. We know.
Dude, listen. I told you this. I don't know if I said it on the podcast. I thought it was gay outside of high school.
That's right. You did mention that.
Yeah, right outside of high school, I was like, "Damn, I'm probably gay," and then I found out I wasn't.
Yeah, and then you had a wife, and you're like, "Well, time for the kids," and that's the next step.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I thought it was. Yeah, as it ends up, in order to like something or someone, I have to just fall in love with the person. So that's, that's how I romantically, sexually get off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So anyway,
did anybody admit anything at the table that was like really crazy? Or
there was a collection of butt plugs mentioned. CBD lube was also mentioned.
That sounds horrible.
I guess it's fantastic.
Really?
Yeah, CBD lube. I mean, like if you use CBD on like your arms and legs and stuff, it can get rid of some pain. So I'm wondering what it would do with the lube.
Honestly, I feel like all of that is just like a market scam, and I feel like it doesn't do anything.
It was homemade, so I don't think it was necessarily a marketing scam because they made it themselves.
Yeah, I feel like CBD in general is just like a fake, like snake oil is what it seems to be. Yeah, because they put it in everything, and then it's like, oh, this will. It's like the cure-all for all your aches, your pains, your balls are sore.
Just put it on.
Cures blue balls. Just fucking
put it on there. But no, I think so. Here's all right. My thoughts. CBD. I think all the stuff they sell over the counter. Yeah, it's bunk. It's garbage probably. If you either smoke enough CBD or have enough CBD in whatever other form, you can feel something. There's something happening. So I think it has some effect. It did help my grandpa's arthritis on his hands. So I don't know.
My girlfriend spends a ton of money on the CBD stuff, and she says it works for her. But every time I try it, it doesn't feel like anything. It's just kind of like.
Do you feel anything when you take like Advil?
It's been a long time since I've taken Advil, but
like ibuprofen.
I'm pretty sure in the past, yeah, when I've taken those things,
you feel a little bit of something.
I feel like it's reduced pain in some capacity.
Yeah, I think it's a similar effect where it's like I don't know, like if I take ibuprofen, I don't necessarily feel anything, but you're like, oh yeah, I did take ibuprofen, that's why that's there or something. I don't know. It's kind of I don't think it's as profound or as good as people say it is, but
yeah,
it's
hard to know, honestly. I mean, maybe I'm psychosomatically blocking it because I don't believe it does anything.
There you go.
In the same capacity, people believe it's doing something by believing it does something.
That's right.
So who knows? It could be either way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave room for that. I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, dude. Stayed up really late. Haven't slept. Well, I haven't.
No. We didn't talk about your sleep. How's your sleep going?
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. Like all the drinking. Eventually, I was gonna circle back around to it. All the drinking led up to
stumble back around drunkenly.
Yeah, but it just led to a terrible sleep cycle. The day before New Year's Eve, I just stayed up till 1, which is just really unusual for me. And then obviously New Year's Eve, we stayed up till like 3. And then slept till noon. That really screwed everything up. And then I went to work yesterday, dead tired. And last night I'm back to normal. Or today. So we're good now.
That's good.
Yeah. What did you do on New Year's? Did you do anything?
Yeah, we did a gift exchange with my girlfriend and I. She got me a bunch of nuts.
Nice.
And some other things.
Oh.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Like a lobster hook and some other
nice
little
gizmos, gadgets.
Yeah, gizmos and gimmicks and things.
Got a bidet.
Oh, really? For your house? It was your wife's gift to you?
Her Christmas?
Yeah, she's like, I eat your ass and there's always stuff in it. So
that's right. Yeah, like corn.
Yeah, she's tired of it.
So much corn.
She's like, I hate eating the little bits of toilet paper every time. But I mean, I do it because I'm a involved lover. But yeah, but I really like it if you just had a clean ass once in a while.
That's right. So, yeah, now I power wash that thing. You just blow it right out.
Yeah, we went to my aunt's house for, like, the Christmas thing, and they recently spent a lot of money on their bathroom, and it looks really well done, and so I was like, oh, I'm going to use it. Like, I want to go see the bathroom. Yeah. They had a nice little Christmas tree in there and everything, and I was like, wow, this is nice. And then I went to use the toilet, and I was like, there's no bidet. And so I walked out. I'm like, guys, you spent all this money on this bathroom, but you didn't even get a bidet. And they were like, a bidet? Why would we get a bidet? I'm like, I can't gurgle my mouth after I pee like I usually do. And so they were dying about that. But yeah, they were like, what's even the point? I'm like, to pressure wash yourself, like to clean it up.
It honestly works really well for them. Yeah. As intended. You know my bathroom upstairs, right?
Yeah.
So like the shower is right across from the toilet, and like Rebecca after I installed it, she went to go turn it on. So she turned it on without sitting down, which you're not supposed to do. But like she turned it on and it immediately like, sprayed to the shower wall. I'm like, yeah, it's got
that's
some
how
power.
You know it works. You like go to put your hand to like catch it and it just pushes it back. Like, oh shit, this is a strong stream.
It's a water pick.
Yeah,
it's a little
water pick for the ass.
You're just like, all right.
You're like spreading it.
No. Jesus.
You're like, I'm gonna get a colon cleanse while I'm here.
Here we go.
My girlfriend's got that new collection of granite butt plugs we're gonna try out today.
Granite butt plugs.
Yeah, got little Geodudes on the end of them.
Got their little arm. Actually, it's just a Geodude fist.
Yeah. Yeah, that's polished, smooth. Finally, I can get fisted by Geodude, my dream.
Oh no, he's evolving into Graveler. That's the next size up. Then you get Golem as the last one.
Yeah.
That's just a giant, like, bowling ball.
Yeah. Your girlfriend's like, or your wife, she's like, I'll get it in. It's just going to take some work. You're like, okay. You're just bent over, like your face is red.
No, my face would be normal colored in that scenario.
You're like, I feel like as soon as it gets past the sphincter, we'll be fine. It's like, we're trying.
I mean, like, you know, I would be wearing old-timey makeup, so yeah, my face would have been white.
Yeah.
That's my kink. It's
your kink.
I'm wearing old-fashioned makeup. That was another one. Another one of the questions was, if you were to make a porno exactly to your liking, what would it be? And I asked the same guy that asked me, what would it take for me to sleep with him? That question. His answer was like, yeah, no, it'd be something about like maids waking me up in the morning. And I'm like, all right.
Hey, simple but nice.
Yeah. Simple. That's an easy one.
Easy. We can make that happen.
Yeah, so I'm in the desert in a maid uniform.
I'm in a desert in a maid costume.
Walking for 40 days and 40 nights through the desert to you.
And finally, I get that protein shake on my knees.
Exhausted.
Yeah.
I collapse onto your cock.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, what was your question again?
Was it a question?
I think there was a question before all this. I don't remember what it was.
Oh, well, the question was from the game.
Oh.
About the.
Oh no, it was you got a bidet for Christmas.
Oh, so there wasn't any question.
Well, you asked what we did on
New Year's.
New Year's, yeah.
Yeah, and I stopped it with the bidet.
Okay.
And you did the gift exchange.
Yeah, we just did a gift exchange, hung out, basically. Watched Jade send me like a gajillion Instagram reels.
Yeah.
So we've been going through them slowly.
Oh.
But they're pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
That's good. It's a good time.
I've also been watching a lot of Fish Tank Season 2.
Yeah.
It's super fun. I love it.
That's your thing.
It is.
You like that.
It's honestly, there are parts where it's not interesting, but you kind of get like invested in the drama because you're like a part of it or whatever. In a sense, like I'm kind of learning about these people. I'm learning about these characters.
Yeah.
And then I also like to imagine like what would I do in this scenario, or like what would I do if I was on this show doing this stuff. It's fascinating to me.
Damn.
It's also fascinating from the perspective of seeing like just some person that's not a production company, like going through and fully realizing a 24/7 live stream house with like more than 10 cameras, with like a TTS system set up so people can do text-to-speech messages. Yeah. They can send money. They can do sound effects to blare them into the room at all hours of the night. Like, it's amazing both to see it as a, like, and it's unpredictable. I think that's what I enjoy about it, too. Like, you don't know what the audience is going to do, and they control it to some extent. Like, there aren't people, they can't put any text-to-speech message through because they obviously censor certain ones.
Yeah.
And then they also deal with, you know, whatever. But there is still a lot of unpredictability of, like, how the contestant's going to act. I mean, you have, like, 10 people in a house, potentially, with the freeloaders that are being deprived of sleep. They're being forced inside. Their diet is horrible. They're having, like, they're having to eat whatever's there, and then like have a hot dog eating competition where they eat like 30 hot dogs in one sitting, and then they puke them all up or something. Like on top of like them all having now a nicotine addiction because of
What?
yeah, because it's a 70s theme, so like they're constantly smoking, and production team is like lowering the amount of smokes that they're giving them, but chat can also send them smokes by paying like I think like $35 to give them like a smoke. So like if you're not liked by the audience, you could like actually suffer withdrawal from a
Oh my
nicotine addiction.
God.
On top of all the drinking they're doing, because like they have a bar and like there's a guy that sometimes comes in at night and gives them drinks,
Mm-hmm.
and like it's like who knows what fucking can happen like in the high stress scenario of like
Yeah.
you're competing for money, you're sleep deprived, you're fucking stimulant and depressant like out, like you eat like a horrible fucking diet, like
To just come in with like
yeah,
White Castle every day.
yeah, like what person would I be in this
Yeah.
situation? I feel like I'd be horrible. I'd be like,
Miserable.
imagine getting text to speech messages at like 3 a.m. from like random people like hazing you and throwing you through the mud. Like it's crazy to imagine the psychologicalness you have to deal with, like a battle.
Jesus.
So that's what I find so entertaining about it is it's watching the beginning, the start of these cheery, open-eyed, optimistic people. Sometimes some of them are pretty cynical, but
Yeah.
these seeing the progression, if it or regression, I guess, in this sense of going from something to nothing, and kind of as they're reduced to whoever they are.
Jesus.
So yeah, that's been super fun. I also like that you can't really tell who's an actor, who's paid, who's real, who's
Oh.
fake, and then Sam keeps gaslighting him. Like he'll take him aside and be like, "Oh yeah, that person's an actor," and he keeps telling him different things.
Oh
So like
yeah.
each person thinks psychologically that like certain people
Are
are
actors.
actors or are not, and that some of the show is fake and some of it's not, or that they're working with production or against them, sort of thing. Oh my god, it's so funny. And they give them each their own like different goals and things like that too. So like some people have to like suss out things from other people. Oh, it's really funny. That's super good.
Christ. Damn.
Yeah.
I thought so. Like, isn't it like last person standing? Isn't it the?
So they do elimination challenges.
Okay.
Like they did their first elimination. We've actually already lost quite a few fish because they've just quit
Yeah.
because they couldn't handle it within like the first week, and then they regret it and want to go back. Or one of the guys got kicked off the show because he was exposing information he shouldn't have been exposing about the last one of the last contestants. You're not supposed to talk about season 1 on season 2 of the show.
No.
And he was exposing some of the more personal information of like this person's OnlyFans or something, and I'm pretty sure that's why he got kicked off because he said her actual name. So things like that. There's like obviously relationships you got to battle. Like it's informal in the sense that it's like a show with people that are making it. So if you step on their toes, yeah, you're gonna get kicked off, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't remember what your question was.
Oh, you're all good. No, that answered it.
Okay.
I was just wondering if it was a last person standing.
Yeah. The last elimination challenge was everybody had to make a stand-up comedy skit, and the worst one got kicked. But it didn't turn out that way necessarily because all of them were pretty bad. It ended up being like one of the guy, like Sam essentially asked one of the guys, he's like, "Hey, like, if you want to stay on the show, you have to go and tell this girl that she's like," they were kind of like building a relationship on the show. He's like, you have to tell this girl that she's leaving because you're staying. That's why they're kicking her off. And so he had to like go tell her to her face like, yes, I'm staying because you're getting kicked off or something like that. And it was kind of crazy because after kind of building this little repertoire with her and having fun, and they even kissed on like New Year's and stuff, so there was like a little relationship building. He had to go. She seemed like fine about it because she wanted to leave the show. I think she didn't want to be on it, but it was still pretty funny. It was like they in a way they're trying to condition this guy or to like teach him the concept of being less passive, to be active, to be like, yes, I'm doing this because I want to do this because I want to win. And, sometimes you have to step on people's toes to achieve that, even if it's, somebody you're falling for or whatever in some capacity. But so it's pretty fun. It's interesting. There are parts where it's completely banal and boring and useless, but
excellent.
yeah, they account for all of them.
Yeah, yeah.
I think in the end, I still enjoy the Batsu games the most. Those are my favorite because it's like 6 hours of like pure content.
Yeah.
Like for those that don't know, the Batsu games are made by like a comedy group called like Gaki no Tsukai. It's like a group of comedians, and they're also known as the punishment games. I guess is probably the more English translation. But the basic concept is simple: is that you have like 6 comedians that are forced to go to like this place where everybody, their whole goal on production is just make them laugh, and every time they laugh they have to like pause. Somebody comes out with like a kind of rubbery baton and hits them in the ass, essentially, and that's the whole show. It's just seeing if production can make these people laugh, and the comedians fuck with each other and try to make each other laugh, and that is like the best content ever. I absolutely love that because it's kind of like a reality show, kind of not. Sometimes they're forced to be like in a 24-hour place, sometimes they're not. That I really like that the most.
Gotcha.
But the 24/7 live stream content is interesting.
Yes.
At the minimum.
There's always something to watch.
Yeah, there's always something to watch.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's nothing to watch, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's fun.
But yeah, dude. We also played that Age of Empires.
I was going to talk about that. Yeah, I really enjoyed my first couple games of Age of Empires.
Yeah.
I feel too slow, but I feel
you'll get there.
Yeah.
It's an RTS like thing cuz like I played a bunch of StarCraft 2, and like whenever you play like on ladder or whatever, that's like the first thing you have to learn is like you have to be able to like hit your buttons quick enough to beat the other guy who's hitting the buttons at the same pace as you.
Yeah.
So it's like then once you get to that point, then it's like, can you outplay the person? So.
Yeah, I thought I would be able to handle a moderate bot by myself, so I played like a skirmish game yesterday, and I got wrecked, dude. The guy was in Castle Age when I was like still kind of behind.
Yeah.
Honestly, I say I got wrecked. I got wrecked in the sense that I felt like I was behind the whole match, but when the scores came out, I was like only a couple thousand behind.
Yeah.
But the difficulty is I was trying to react to what he was doing, but he just kept sending like one unit at a time. And I was like, okay, this is kind of annoying. And then he built a bunch of elite skirmishers, which I didn't know how to counter.
Yeah.
And then once I finally figured out, I have to use cavalry to counter that, then he made halberdiers and then just countered my cavalry. Yeah. And I was like, well, what fucking... And by then I was dead.
Yeah.
I couldn't do anything.
The best thing that... I don't know, like you probably saw, I just make an archer ball.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's good in that game other than, like, your special unit from the castle plus archer ball. That's standard.
That seems like it probably worked, yeah.
It works pretty good.
And then I was like I was trying to battle with all the information I had from watching T90, like all of it, because one of the things they say is like never ring the town bell, because that's almost always like horrible to have all your workers stop production. And so I was trying to manage like, okay, if some workers were like in danger, I would move them away or garrison them, and the rest of them I'd let work. And then trying to micromanage that while you're like trying to spawn units, and then
it's too much. Just ring the bell.
I think I did pretty well, but it definitely takes some work. And then I got on a map that had like no wood, which was kind of difficult to deal with as a new player. I also don't know at what moments I'm supposed to go into what resources. It seems like, you got to kind of be reactive and adaptive, and so that's something that'll take time for me to learn.
Well, okay, so if you look up, I know like for StarCraft and stuff, you can look up build orders. And if you're going to go, like, so like in StarCraft, I play Protoss, and I'll play Striders. Like, yeah, Blink Striders. Or why do I keep saying Striders? I know they're not, but whatever. The guys that shoot... They're Protoss that have Blink.
Yeah.
I like the microing of those units. So I always go those plus whatever I can react to. Like, if the other people go something that completely counters that, obviously I got to switch it up. But, like, my default, just go into that. And it's, like, the same build every time. You get used to that, and then you can start adding in whatever junk. So, like, maybe if you look up one of those, it'd probably tell you, like...
Maybe. There's just some quality of life things that I feel like the game misses, and this might be just my own ignorance and not knowing, but from playing AI Wars, which I really do enjoy as an RTS, some of the things that I like in AI Wars that I don't see present in Age of Empires is like, in Age of Empires, I can't just queue up a stable to always have 5 cavalry. Like, even if one of them dies, I can't set that up. And in AI Wars, I can set it up so there's always like 10 of these units. There's always 20 of these units. And when they die, they just at base. Because the thing I notice is I'd send these guys out, like go back to look at production and make sure everything's going well.
They'll die
order
or
people.
whatever.
And then, they'll die. And then the enemy moves forward and I have nothing built because I'm not queuing up fucking Sable again. I'm like, oh my God. So, but it's just something I got to learn with, I mean, it's skill. That's what it is.
It's the same thing.
I don't expect them to add in a system for that sort of thing.
Just for you.
Yeah. I also don't see with scouting, I don't see anything to like set waypoints to let them like to draw a path for them to scout.
Shift right click.
Is it shift right click? Okay, I'll have to check that out.
You can do that with builders too.
I did it with builders and I knew that worked, but I just couldn't figure out how to do the waypoint thing for the scout. Because I just set them to auto path, but they're like dumb and they'll run into the enemy base and die. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but it's whatever. I like the game. I love it. I bought all the DLC, so I intend to play it more. So I don't.
Let me know. I'll verse you today, right now.
Yeah, maybe we will. Right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the idea of fighting the bots to learn how to play the game, and then versing people might be fun too. I haven't found a strategy or a civ that I really like. I've seen a lot of people do wild stuff. Like people have done like watchtower builds where they just build a shit ton of watchtowers. I think that's really funny. Just hundreds of little arrows firing.
You can do like the builders. You can get the upgrade for the builders so they're tough, and then you get one that they deal like quadruple damage to buildings or something.
That could be fun.
That one's kind of wacky.
I found the builders, at least in the few playthroughs I've done, they're never fast enough to catch up with like a skirmisher.
No.
They're too slow.
Yeah, but they're builders.
And the AI can just kite me forever.
They're like building 70 units while you're like, come on, just get him.
Yeah, just get him. Yeah, I'm super concerned about this one skirm dying. Super funny.
Yeah. So
I'll figure out something.
It's pretty epic, dude.
Yeah, it's a cool game. I like it, and it's old, so there's a lot of people that play it. A lot of high skill ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see myself going that far with it, but I do enjoy like it's kind of like League. It's like I'm gonna sit down and play a match and
yeah. Well, it's like because I mean like there's games like that where it's like Super Smash Bros. Everybody kind of I don't know. A lot of people just like I played it somewhat competitively for a while, and then. Like, I haven't in a while, but I always go back and be like, I could go back at any minute.
Mm-hmm.
And just, like, if somebody's playing, like, oh, hey, I can hop in, know how to do stuff, so I don't look like an idiot, you know?
Dude, speaking with another game, too, briefly, before we end this cast, because I know we're over our hour 30.
Yeah.
I beat, like, Necess with my cousin.
Uh-huh.
And we beat it, like, really quickly. It only took a couple days, because we're kind of, like, we were like min-maxing the shit out of it.
Uh-huh.
I think I skipped the entire settlement aspect of it. I mean, I tried to do some of the stuff, but it was so useless.
Yeah.
That it didn't feel valuable to invest any time in it. The only thing I did put time into was farming, but like the animal husbandry I did literally nothing with. And then, I mean, we barely explored because there's not really much to explore. And then you end up recycling all of the stuff again. So basically it's like there's 4 biomes. There's snow, desert, swamp, and like plains, and then that's it. And then later in the game you get deep ladders, which you can go into deep caverns of those same 4 systems again. So it's like essentially it's like 8 boss, like there's probably like 10 bosses total is what the game amounts to. And I don't really like fighting any of the bosses, and the ore mining is kind of just like Terraria. Honestly, the only reason I mentioned this game is because what surprised me is it sold 1 million copies. They recently did a post recently. They're like, yeah, I sold 1 million. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I kind of get it because it's like a co-op game and it's on sale and people can it's
probably. I mean, isn't it only like $10?
Yeah,
something like that.
But like the netcode is good. Like it runs, and I'm just like, but the game it's just boring. It's not. It feels like nothing. It's like top-down Terraria, but without any of the love that Terraria has. Basically.
I think people look at it and they're like, this is like Stardew Valley. It's like, okay, my girlfriend played Stardew Valley, and like we're looking for a new game that's kind of like Stardew Valley, but I kind of want to do more than Stardew Valley, but Terraria's too hard.
Yeah.
So then they look at Necessity. Look at that.
Honestly,
game.
I feel like it's a great foundation for a game, but it lacks like the personality of a game.
Yeah, it kind of just was a bunch of copies.
It feels
stuff.
It just feels like a like a clone of a bunch of shit, and
Yeah.
and then it surprises me that it even sells 1 million copies because I'm like, holy shit, dude! Like,
Yeah.
that's insane, and it's like 4 biomes. Like, I mean, that's boring, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
For $10 though.
Yeah, and I mean, I got it on sale, so
Yeah.
$5. Even five. I mean, I don't think what's there is worth less. I just feel like it needs to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And I hope that they don't focus too much on. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean,
here's what I would say: just make a sequel. Like,
yeah.
take that million copies sold, make that same game that you just made, but put the personality in it, and do better with like the game. I haven't played it personally.
It looks ugly, yeah.
Yeah, it looks ugly as sin, and it looks like someone just barely put any effort in it. I mean, they probably put a bunch, but I mean, like, you know,
there's clearly a ton of effort in the programming aspect.
Yeah.
But the palette is ugly. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, color-wise, it's too saturated.
Mhm.
It looks really gray and gross looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even if they just took that base, which it seems like they're doing, it seems like they're updating it. I mean, it's taken me more than a year to do an update, so good on this person for updating. They're clearly, and they sold 1 million copies, so I can't, criticize them. I can criticize them, but I can't, be like they're doing something wrong. I personally felt like the game was boring. Yeah. I did not really enjoy playing it that much. And I think that's directly related to the fact that it was just kind of, there wasn't really much personality into it. And I would have liked to see them take more risk into weirder systems and things like that.
Yeah.
It just felt very generic and boring.
Yeah, it's like, do you want to do more familiar damage like Terraria?
Yeah, and it literally was like Terraria. They had the 3 classes, 4 classes. You had melee, range, magic, summoner.
Yep.
And then they had gear kits that were kitted towards each of those things. It's like, dude, I want to see somebody take some more. I mean, I guess maybe I gotta take. I think it's Gandhi's quote, the quote of like, "Be the change you want to see in the world." Like, yeah, I'm just gonna have to take more risk because I hate how generic everything is. Like, it bothers me to see these.
Yeah,
it's like when you see the element system and it's always like earth, water, air, fire.
Yeah,
like that. It's overdone. Give me something else. Like, I want to see something new. Give me like raccoon, volcano, like rabbit. And like
George.
Prostate or something. Like, I want to see something weird. Like, give me some wild.
Yeah, I put a few points into prostate and then the rest into raccoon.
Yeah. My build's kind of weird, but like, it works pretty good. I don't take fall damage as much, but like, when my prostate gets inflamed, the raccoon goes feral. So like, just weird. I want to see something bizarre. Like, I want to, with the accessibility of games, like, why can't I just...
Yeah, I get it.
Make something weird. Like, what the fuck you got to lose? You gonna give me another earth, water, fire bullshit game? Like, I'm tired of it. I want to see something different.
I think that they use that as, like, I want a game that does X, Y, Z, and then we're going to add certain things that can mess with the environment. And it's like... yes, things that already make sense to people.
Yeah.
These.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I don't mind it. I just hope it goes somewhere else. I hope there is, like, more than those 4 biomes. I hope that they do something weird. I hope that the weapons are, like, more interesting. The weapons don't really feel... It feels weird because it's, like, it's the same thing as Terraria. You have magic and then you have guns.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
What is this theme?
Just put it all...
Yeah,
Terraria theme. That's what it is.
That's what it is. It's Terraria.
It's
facsimile Terraria.
Yeah, Terraria. You start out with a bow, and then it's like, here's a flintlock, and then later on it's like minigun.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
But at least some of those weapons were interesting. I guess more interesting than some of the stuff. I mean, I remember the star falling weapon. That was cool.
Yep.
Obviously, you can't do that in this game because it's top down, but I'm sure you can come up with something better than just spray fire.
Yeah.
That's fucking boring. Give me something else. And I hate how stingy they are with your active ability. Like, your sprint doesn't really last that long. You can upgrade it, or you can, like, replace it with a blink, but the blink time takes, like, forever. And it also carries over that Terraria system of, like, when you drink a health pot, you gotta wait 30 seconds before you can drink another health pot. I'm like, oh, my fucking God, dude. if I go through the work of making this health pot, you should just let me chug them.
What if, like, for Blink, like, what if, like, you can use it and, like, you have a mana charge system where, like, you blink and it adds a charge that slowly cools down, but if you go over, you just catch on fire.
Yeah,
Something. That would make it more entertaining.
Anything interesting.
Yeah.
Or, like, I mean, they've done that reloading in games now where if you reload, you can press R at a certain moment, kind of like a rhythm game, to reload faster or get a benefit. Why can't it just be like, I mean, anything?
What game was that? Oh, that's Enter the Gungeon.
Yeah, they do that there. They do it in some first-person shooters as well.
Yeah.
I think Valorant has something like that in it. I don't remember.
I don't know anything about that. That's interesting.
Not Valorant. What's the other one?
I have no idea. Counter-Strike?
No. What's the one where you drop in, there's like a train, you're on like an island. It's like a battle royale game.
Apex?
Yeah, I think Apex has something like that.
No, I put a ton of hours. I don't think so.
I don't remember.
There might be a character that does it now or something, but I haven't played in a while.
I don't remember.
But anyways,
Yeah, anyways, video games. Necess is a great base game. I mean, they sold 1 million copies. What else am I going to say about it other than I just felt like I disliked it and it was boring, so...
I haven't bought it because it looks like a game that would repel me because of its looks.
Your group of friends bought it just recently.
Yes, and they're going to play it at some point, get about halfway through, maybe. One of them will probably finish the game by themselves, and then that'll be it.
Sounds like you got it figured out.
Yep, so I'm just not going to buy it.
As far as clones of Terraria in a way that I really did like, Core Keeper. That was very fun.
That one was fun.
That game. Yeah. That game was very well made. It was polished.
You and your cousin like streamline it, whereas like whenever you're talking about it, you guys like beat the game fast. Whereas like I felt like whenever I played it with like my group or whatever, it was just like we just kind of did whatever for a while, and that was fine. Eventually, we found bosses, and we're like, oh, so this is where we do this. Oh.
Yeah, see, the only thing I don't like when I play with my cousin Drew, I hate when he uses the wiki. That I don't like.
Yeah.
I like the exploration of it. And at a certain point with Necess, he did get the wiki, but which is, whatever. He's like super min-maxes it, so he doesn't want to be in a game any longer than he has to, which is really strange. I did go through, try to figure out the systems. I tried to just fight bosses to see what drops, I explored a little bit, and I enjoyed that aspect of it, but to each their own.
Yeah. So. I'm not a big oh, you know what? Last question of the podcast. Yeah. Okay. What's the first cybernetic implant you're going to get?
I think we talked about this at the cabin, but to reiterate, mine is going to be the Insta-Poop shoot.
Oh!
Yeah, I'm going to be able to just sit down, drop it, and then just get up.
Damn.
That's what I want. I want to make pooping shorter.
Preload it.
Yeah, or if there's a cybernetic implant to make sleep happen in a minute to maximize my time, that's what I want to do.
So you're going to shut down for a second?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's do it. What about you?
I think, I wear this Whoop band now. Just give me a permanent version.
Yeah.
A health monitor.
Just put it inside you like an RFID chip or something.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just connects to my phone. I don't want any GPS, but I want just connect to my phone.
I also think the Babel fish.
That would be cool.
From Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy will probably... I mean, they already kind of have it now because you have headphones that for $400 you can put one in your ear, one in the other person's ear and talk and it'll translate. That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
We're pretty close to that.
I've been playing Cyberpunk, that's why I asked. That they fixed the game. I just bought it because it's half off. But
yeah, a lot of my buddies and some of my other groups have been playing a shit ton of it. They really like it.
Yeah, it's been fun. But, it's one of those games, I don't know why I do this, but I'm doing all the side quests because I feel like I can actually beat all of them and get all the achievements. It feels like one of those games, which I might be wrong on, but I don't know why I do that with games, though. I'll just look at it and be like, oh, I could easily 100% this. Because it's not that hard. I'm playing on not the hardest difficulty, but the one below that. And it's not terrible. I think I found a broken build or whatever a little bit with like pistols and headshots and junk, because I can one-shot almost every enemy. So I don't know.
Hey,
whatever.
Yeah, if it's fun.
Yeah, it's a good time.
If you enjoy it, then it doesn't matter. Maybe 100% it.
Yeah.
In between league games.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, I gotta click on the ranked button and get angry at my team that like, this is my first time playing Alistar. It's like, why'd you go into a ranked game to do this?
You're like, I only really learned in high stress scenarios. Yeah. So ranked games are how I learn.
Oh. Anyways, hey, see you next time on the Roving Slant podcast, where we talk about other stuff.
I'm gonna end the mics first, and then I'll end the video. So.
Oh, you're gonna doing it backwards,
doing
but the bonus content though.
Yeah, they don't need the bonus content. I'm waiting for your red light to turn off. There you go. Good luck.